Hello. First of all, dear colleagues, visitors, before I start, I would like to thank the organization of Art Taipei for inviting me to speak at this wonderful venue. Dialogue is very important for our field, and its facilitators are invaluable. I would like in particular to thank TACA, Taipei Art Economy Research Center, Joyce Kay, Sonny Hu, and my dear friend Dr. Wu. Especially Wu, you connected our organizations, and I thank you for that. We had Dr. Wu last May in the Netherlands on the Authentication in Art Congress. So this is my name, Milko Den LEEUW. LEEUW means lion, for you to know. Actually, I'm a painting conservator. I'm a trained painting conservator. And we are specialized in, of course, European, but also American paintings, from the Renaissance to modern. My specialization is painting research and pictology. Pictology is actually the handwriting of painters. I'm a consultant for private collectors. I was Christie's outdoor conservator 20 years ago. And I worked for the Rijksmuseum Katerijnenconvent in Utrecht. That's the religious museum in the Netherlands. And I founded with my dear friend, mother of my sons, and wife, Ingeborg de Jong, the Atelier for Restoration of Paintings in the Netherlands. And I'm also the founder of Authentication in Art, and that's why I'm here today. For about 6 years now, the Authentication in Art Foundation has worked on improving research and cooperation concerning the authenticity of paintings. Paintings ranking from the ancient till the contemporary. In this speech, we would like to reflect on the past 6 years of AEA, as well look to the future and what we want to achieve. The idea for a foundation concerned with the authenticity of art focused on paintings arose in 2010 during meetings with Professor Dr. Rudy Eckert, the former director of the Netherlands Institute of Art History, and me. The need for such a foundation had become more and more evident by the increasing number of cases involving forgeries, misattributions, and identification swaps. As well as rediscoveries that sparkled conflicts around specific paintings. Problems like these often are the result of a lack of professional cooperation between the different fields active in the art world, and a lack of transparency in the art market and shortcomings on education. This results in misconceptions brought forward in other sort of lawsuits, which we have seen all over the world now. In the light of these facts, it quickly became clear that if the foundation, AEA, were to succeed, it would have to be a platform containing experts from all fields and be built on pillars of transparency, cooperation, and innovation. And this is what we mean by the field. To realize a foundation as such, it was clear that all fields should be included from the very start. Other initiatives only worked from art historical or scientific angle. And for example, they left law and painting conservators out. And we think that these three angles are important to come to the right authentication process. The first step to realizing a multidisciplinary goal was the organization of a formal meeting that was held on the 25th of May in 2012. That was this slide. And it's quite interesting because, of course, we see here this is the mayor of Den Haag, but we had experts from, for example, Martin Kemp, Professor Dr. Martin Kemp, the biggest Leonardo da Vinci expert in the world. We had Jane Sharp, Professor Jane Sharp. She's one of the biggest professors on Russian art. Professor Heidenreich, who is the biggest Lunach-Cranach expert. But we also had people from the field of law, art historians, but also material scientists. And during that meeting in 2012, it was actually decided that we should make a step further because of the misunderstandings and the situation of the field at that moment. So we decided, this was a one-day meeting, that we should make this next step, and on the basis of this schedule, start forming a conference, a 3-day conference. So after this meeting, AA started the presentation of the organization of the first conference, which was held on 7, 8, and 9th of May 2014. However, this was not the only activity that was being developed. To further improve the accessibility and understanding of information available on authenticity, AA began gathering information from a variety of sources. And these sources are, first of all, the marked news. So we gather all the news, no matter where it is coming from, no matter how we can get it. Papers, internet, of course, publications. We gather it on our website. And it's actually a daily news service in which you see that there are rediscoveries, but also the announcements of lawsuits. There are lawsuits on forgeries and misattributions on a daily basis around the world. Every day is something. So we thought of bringing the problem of our field into the right scope to use this active market news service. The first article was placed in 2012 and, well, it's very much alive till today. But besides starting the news service, AA also began developing an AA library. So the library is very important on the publications which are seeing the light, but also older publications. So we gather on the website the library. The third area where AA began gathering and disseminating information was art and law. Here, important court cases from different jurisdictions were and still are gathered and analyzed. So when we saw a lawsuit and we can get all the jurisdiction on it, we will, in a team, we analyze what is happening. So why was the case brought to light? What was the defense? And even till, maybe you know the very famous Noodler cases in New York last summer, which was the fall of the Noodler art gallery, the oldest art gallery in America. And even till today, we followed, for example, the 20s Sotheby's case on the card sharps from the painting from Caravaggio. All these projects aspire to make information authenticity more accessible and understandable to a larger audience and to the field of experts. At the time, the most important project was organizing the 2014 Authentication in Art conference. The Congress had several major items, all revolving around authenticity. The themes were, as you see here, standardization within scientific and technical research, education and training, the guidelines for catalogue raisonné, art and law guidelines, and the history of authentication of paintings, and cornership and the issuing of opinions. Now, maybe this all sounds very familiar to you, but you must realize, especially when you look to the catalogue raisonné guidelines and the art and law guidelines, that this was the first time that they were ever assembled. So no major organization anywhere ever did an attempt to realize that. Not ECOM, not the International Council of Museums, not the IIC, which is an important organization in our field. No one ever brought forward the guidelines as produced by AEA, because these guidelines were built up by work groups, and these work groups, again, were built up by every possible angle. So we had specialists from every angle to bring their knowledge to specific guidelines, in this case art and law and catalogue raisonné. Even the International Catalogue Raisonné Society, we had the chairman on board for this conference, and in the work group, they never produced any guidelines. So you must realize that this is, of course, the academic point of view. And when we look to the art market, especially when we look to catalogs for auctions, it's a different approach. I will talk a little bit more about that later. The second day of the 2014 conference focused on providing an overview of the current state on authenticity from the perspective of different fields. It contains speeches on important authenticity projects, such as the Van Gogh Museum and the Francis Bacon Research Project. Because all the time what we try to achieve is that we bring it back to people who are already active with a certain artist or period. But it also contained talks on the biggest forgery scandal at that moment, the Beltracci casus, and how it was brought to light. We had two very good talks on that in 2014. The third and most important day for me was focusing on the future. Almost the entire third day was filled with presentations of the AEA workshop. These workshops consisted of groups of professional experts, which AEA put together and provide guidelines on specific topics on issues of authenticity. These guidelines could then serve as an industry standard, not only creating an objective and measurable standard for experts working in a particular field, but more importantly, providing transparency and understanding for non-experts by producing an easy-to-understand layout of the field in question, along with an objective standard to refer to.